On this episode of Real Estate on the Rocks, we're going to talk about 10 ways to brand yourself on a tight budget.
Welcome to Real Estate on the Rocks, where you get top shelf real estate conversations served straight up, never watered down. Here's your host, Dave Snowberger.
All right, everybody, welcome back. My name is Dave Snowberger. I'm joined in the studio today, as always, with my man, Marshall Tucker.
What's going on?
And the newest of the new guys, James Mendez.
What's going on?
Not much, James. As we talked about a little bit earlier, we were going to do an episode on branding. A few episodes back, I kind of ripped on branding and said it wasn't the most important thing in your business. I still stand by that. When you're first getting started, that's something you can work simultaneously with getting your business off the ground. You can work on that a little bit. So when you hit that 2-year stretch and you don't fail out, and you're doing everything in your power, that's really that's the time. That's the time to start get the branding in order, get where you're going. Now you know a bunch of stuff you didn't know in the past, right? And so now it's time to really form your brand. And what does that mean, Marshall? What does building your brand consist of?
It's your logo. It's how people identify you. It's easily, like when they see the McDonald's, you instantly know everything that logo or branding means. Gotcha.
Okay. James, you have anything to add there?
It's just recognition of who you are and what you're about. Right. So if no one knows you're in business, or no one knows what you, or can identify you or connect to you, you're not going to get anything. You're not going to go anywhere.
Okay. But that kind of contradicts what we're saying is that don't worry about it the first year or two. So
leverage your broker's branding.
Right. Okay.
And then move into yours.
Okay.
So you want to simultaneously kind of do it.
Yeah. We're just saying, don't make that your priority. If you're picking one thing, like what is your one thing?
Right.
Marketing and branding is not your one thing. That doesn't bring business. Isn't the direct producing thing that's going to drive your growth upward.
Correct. Okay. So you can establish by doing a brand. Basically, it's your name. It's your logo. It's your identity. What colors are you going to use behind all those? Yep. What is your marketing going to consist of, and what's your strategy? And really, what's your voice in the community? How are you going to get involved in the community? How are you going to build that top of mind awareness and let everybody know that you're an agent? When they think about real estate, they're going to think about you, right? So we've all done the test before, of the top of mind awareness test, where I say name 3 laundry detergents in 7 seconds, and usually people whip out 1 or 2, and then the third one they struggle on.
I knew tied right away.
Right, and so that doesn't deserve a pat on the back. You should know at least one. All. Right.
That is one right.
Okay. All. Well, that's you're kind of screwing the exercise, because now you sat here and figured them all out.
I thought about it.
You've got them all written on the board. You're actually cheating. So. And so,
I'm not even a good cheater. I didn't know they were on the board.
Yeah, he wants that little thing on the board here, so he can go like, what was that? Real American Genius.
Oh my God, what was that?
I don't know.
I remember what you're talking about, though.
I know.
Right. That's good branding.
Right. That's good. So get down to it. So you can do the with really anything you use in your day-to-day life, right? So laundry detergent, you can take the little test and keep it like 7 seconds. Like I said, if you had 10 seconds or 15 seconds, of course you can think of 3 or 4. Toothpastes. Right?
Yeah.
Fabric softeners. You can really do it with anything. Okay, now do it with realtors, right? And so when I ask this question, or I'm standing up speaking to people, and I talk about top of mind awareness, and I'm in a room full of people, the biggest room I've ever spoken, a couple hundred people, and I've asked them to do this, and they sit there, and not one person says me. Not me, Dave Snowberger, but not me as in the person I'm asking the question to.
Yeah.
Name 3 realtors, and they sit there and they struggle, or they always name the person that really stands out in their market, right? And so I've had people even go, you.
I was going to say Dave, James, and Marshall.
Yeah, right? So it's really easy to do while we're sitting at the table. When you're put on the spot, what's your RAS? What's your reticular activating system telling you, it shoots towards your head when you hear real estate. Now take that exercise and build that, kind of ingrain that into building your brand. Is how do I stand out in front of people into my marketplace and get them to, when they hear someone that's going to buy or sell, or someone moving to town, or somebody at their work or church or wherever else that talks about real estate, you need to basically just plant that seed in their head of that you're the real estate professional for that area, and then they should automatically think of you, and that would lead to what? A referral, right?
Right.
Yep.
And so let's talk about a few ways to do this. Go ahead and get started, Marshall.
A few ways to put your brand out there.
Yeah, to start building your brand. Obviously you have your brand. The reason why I went to you is that you have your brand inside of really my brand, right? So our group is called the Snowberger Realty Group. We're a part of EXP Realty, and so my brand is inside of EXP's brand, and your brand is inside of my brand and EXP's. So you get to kind of double dip on that.
Right.
Is my thought on that is that the Snowberger Realty Group name, and then you have the EXP name behind you, and then you also have this whole buy it with Marshall.
Client facing, I usually say Snowberger Realty Group, but if I'm just trying to hurry up and tell an agent, who I'm with or something, I usually say EXP Realty just to kind of,
Right, because my brand, our brand, sorry, Goose, is not big enough to where it has that top of mind awareness with everybody where we do business. However, EXP or Keller Williams or Century 21 or Coldwell Banker, Remax, there's countless other ones that really ring to the top of all that stuff. And so, yes, when we're making phone calls, I do the same thing. I don't say, hey, this is Dave with Snowberger Realty Group typically, because I need that brand, that RAS to be activated. So I do say EXP Realty, or I just don't mention a real estate company at all. Right. And I just say, hey, I'm a local realtor. And now they know the purpose of the call, right? And so then I can get really into where my brand specific comes. Oh, what company are you with? Well, I'm Snowberger Realty Group, and we're brokered by EXP. Right. Then that's when the conversation comes later on, right?
Okay.
So,
well, I think that probably the first thing that I would get busy doing would be get yourself a professional headshot and make sure that it carries across on all the platforms that you're using. So don't have different photos in Facebook, don't have a different photo for Instagram, don't have a different photo on your business card. Make sure everything stays consistent. That way people start identifying you that way.
Right. Do you like a professional headshot? Is that what you want to see? You want to see somebody in a suit and tie?
I have a more relaxed photo.
Yeah, you have more of a lifestyle
I'm kind of leaning against
shot, right?
the wall, right? My arms are crossed a little bit, and I'm smiling. I'm like, hey, use me.
So do I. What's on my business card? What's on my actual business card is a photo that I took in Florida on vacation. It just turned out well. I shot it on portrait. It's actually a selfie. I held my phone up, and if you look close enough on the right hand corner, there's some blonde hair right there. Well, that's Nicole's hair that got cut out, and so I blurred the background, and that's the way I did it there. So I disagree that you don't need to spend money on a professional headshot because a lot of this,
ours was taken goofing around. I was in front of a blue barn door, and I just kind of was throwing around different shots.
Actually, I took a great shot of you when I bought the new Canon M50.
That was a good photo. That's why I'm still using it.
I bought a Canon M50. I bought a Canon M50 the other day, and we went to Fuddruckers to eat, and the dumpster door had like a lot of patina on it, right? So it was this big metal iron door, with a lot of patina on it. And I was like, hey, the first photo I took was Marshall. And it actually turned out really good. I don't know if I've even sent it to you yet, but that's something you could actually use in
have to rebrand.
No. Well, changing your photo isn't necessarily rebranding. I do keep my photo, everything consistent though.
Right.
So I actually don't have my business card this time, and my sign are different.
You want to update every year or two.
Right. And so glamour shots. Let's
or you
talk
can
about
cheat
those
with a little,
quick.
those calligraphy drawings, caricatures.
Right. I think everybody whether you've got a great Samsung phone or you've got one of the newer iPhones, they take some pretty solid pictures.
Yeah.
And you can get out there and you can really save the money. Have a friend that knows what you're doing. If you don't know how to crop a photo, go watch a quick YouTube video on how to crop a photo or improve the lighting or whatever else. You don't want to over doctor the photo. You want to look like the person on the photo.
They're going to meet you eventually.
Right. My last sign on my Keller Williams sign, I used that sign for probably about 2-3 years. And there was a huge weight difference there. I lost 50 pounds.
That was a good photo, though, because it was just kind of like, try me.
Yeah.
Come on, try me.
That's what everybody kept saying. Like, don't get rid of that photo. And I was like, okay, if it's not broken, I won't fix it. And
the newer version of you is a lot happier now. You're smiling.
When we switched to, I was always
happy. You could
try
me.
It's just a picture. I was always happy. You could certainly, I forgot what I was going to say. Notice the difference in the 50 pounds, right? And so... I just kept it on there to keep it on there. And then as soon as I switched over to EXP Realty, which you can get a hold of us at, just kidding, I won't do that. I always do these little shameless little sneak-ins. The picture made a difference there. And you're right, it is a more appealing photo to me. because I'm smiling. I don't think my arms crossed.
Well, just
I
to
can't
point
remember.
out, you went and gave yourself a mustache trim one time, and then we went out to I guess it was family reunion.
I shaved my beard off totally.
Yeah, and people just passed you right by. It was like, wait, don't you know that guy?
Yeah, and people passed me by, and the funny thing was the dude. What's his name? I can't remember his name, but he had a big long beard also at the time, and he's just like, "You look like a guy I know," and I was like, "Dipshit, I am that guy. I am that guy. I just shaved my beard off." He's like, "Why the hell would you do that?" And seriously, I mean, that was part of my brand, was the beard, and not just the beard, it was the mustache.
Like I'm looking at a
that I
coffee
have.
cup right now. It says "Respect the beard."
Right, and so somebody bought me that after
was me.
Was it?
Yeah, it was me.
Oh, was it? Was it really?
Yeah, it was a birthday cup.
I'm sorry. I feel bad that it's full of markers and pens.
That's right.
I can't drink that much coffee though. That's a big ass cup.
It's big. So it wouldn't be respect the beard on a small cup.
Right. Right. So here we go. One of the biggest brand building goals is to differentiate from the competition. Convince a customer to purchase from you over them. So what are you going to do, Marshall, to stand out above everybody else? What are we doing as the Snowburger Realty Group? As top shelf agents and some of the other brands that we got rolling, kind of with each other in parallel with each other. What are we doing to stand out and over people? Really, what's our value proposition?
Value. I thought you were going to say stand out, be like our Wilco Eats and things like that get us in front of people consistently without necessarily ramming real estate down their throat.
I am. I mean, that's exactly what I mean. And so I've discovered a way. I didn't discover it. What am I talking about? I didn't discover it. I R&D'd, ripped off and duplicated plenty of people out there that were really doing things to stand out in their market. And by market, I mean where you sell real estate, and really get that top of mind, build that top of mind awareness. Through video, through food, through family, through fun, and not talk about real estate. Real estate is overly saturated, in my opinion, right? And so
I think in most people's opinion.
Yeah. And I saw this question this morning, was like, somebody asked, like, hey, one of my friends told me, do putting listings on Facebook really work? One of my friends said, please stop spamming me. And I saw there was 250 comments, and they were split as usual, right down the middle, right? Get better friends is when I saw. Get better friends. What does that even mean?
People just talking out the side of their neck. That's one of the things I hate in some of the groups. You get people who think they're cute and make a comment and like just completely unnecessary and doesn't help the person in there. And it's not even funny. They could have provided better recommendations. Throwing tons and tons of real estate only messages, while you may not interpret it as spamming, it gets kind of old for people if that's the only thing they see on your Facebook.
I can always tell a new agent, because they're trained to do that. Get on there, make your first post. Hey guys, I'm in real estate now. Who do you know wants to buy? Invest and sell, and that's okay. But then you see it the next day. You see it the next day, and then they post it 3 times a day, and you're like, whoa, slow down. Like,
right.
Tell your friends and family in a different way. Like, give them a call.
Well, there's that, but you're right. I think that's being crammed down everybody's throats right now, and they think that's brand building. That's not brand building, is to sit there and post listing after listing, and especially if they don't belong to you, you know. And I'm always one that wants to stand out and be omnipresent in front of people. However, the consumer is smart, right? If you're not compelling, you're not selling, right? And so if the content you're posting your new listing is not compelling. No. I mean, it's just not. And once again, these are my opinions. It's our show, so I can be very opinion based and let that drive the show. I don't think that posting those things, actually, I'll say I don't think, I'll retract that. I know that posting those things is all it's doing is pissing your clientele off. Yeah. Your potential clientele, your potential consumer base, right? They're going to remember you're in real estate when you do that stuff, I believe. But are they going to want to deal with you? Right. So I'm getting kind of...
Well, it's the same way when I see someone posting something political over and over. Right.
Don't talk politics.
Or it's like, was it climbing up on something and it's like, hey, I've been trying to reach you for your extended warranty. He's like, ah!
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. You don't... There's a recommendation right there. You don't talk politics, you don't talk religion, and you don't help your friends move.
Yeah. Did you see the person on one of the groups saying that that the person got released from or fired from the company, and then so people were like, of course, being investigators, go onto the person's page, and it's like politics, like I'd say 99.5% politics, all skewed on one side, all saying, what they believe on one thing and how the other side is, this, that, and the other. And everyone's like, yeah, I would have fired you too.
Yeah.
And so like it causes a lot of conflict. And is that the brand, or is that the message you really want to show the world?
It's absolutely not, because you're limiting you're
dividing your audience. Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing about drilling down on that. There's nothing about, just kind of,
I'll take half I'll take half of everything out there. Thank you.
Yeah. Your niche is to be a right wing person or a left wing person. That's not your niche. It has nothing to do with it. You want to do business with everybody. And when you do that, you really choose sides there, and even if you try to stay in the middle, the people in the middle, will like you. And then the one on the right and the left aren't going to like you very much because you stayed in the middle. That
always cracks me up.
So the best thing to do is just kind of, zip the opinions and keep all the political and religious stuff to yourself. And some people are like, well, that's just not me. I need to speak my truth. Okay, well then just realize you're limiting your business.
Go speak your truth right into a new job.
Yeah, I mean, a new career. Right. Go work for somebody that has the same views as you or whatever else. So it's just not something I do. I think I brought it up before that we had a certain senator running here in Texas. Yeah, and I didn't say much. I never said anything really about it. You kind of knew the guy wasn't going to win, and there was a big hoopla about, all this other stuff. And I just poked fun that there were so many signs, and especially since we're located in Austin, Texas, and it's like the blueberry, it's a little blue dot in this big red Texas sea, right? Yeah. And so I just kind of had poked fun and said, what do we do with these signs? Do they go in the regular trash or do they go in the recycle bin? And yeah. I mean, it got a lot of laughs and got a lot of likes and a lot of attention. And then about 2 or 3 people were just, kind of got on me. Yeah. And I guarantee you, one client did not list with me because of it. She is so wrapped up and so affected by any headline that comes in off of any of the news channels. She's so affected. And if you go to her Facebook page, it's all politics. She's not a real estate agent. Yeah. She's just a person. She's always out voicing her opinion, and she's really kind of like one of those social justice warriors like you, James. And
no, I'm not.
She's an SJW, just like James Mendez. And she did not call me when it was time to list. I had helped her for 2 or 3 years, determining her value, helping her to get her what is that, PMI insurance taken off when she was at the ratio she needed to be at, and helped her all the way through. And then that one little comment, that one little smart ass remark from me, where I thought was really funny, just trying to come from that space of being funny,
right,
backfired. Yeah. And I learned my lesson, that I've always preached this. You don't talk politics in any manner.
I don't think it's just politics. People got to keep in mind to keep a little censor button on about everything they post, because you're not posting as an individual anymore. You're posting as a business. So people don't want to see you going out to the bars every night and getting wasted and posting those raunchy photos that you got and, hidden in the basement or whatever. Like, they don't want to see all that. Maybe they do, but they don't want to see it as a business.
Yeah, nobody wants to see my raunchy photos. That's for sure.
James, they're in the hard drive.
Yeah, but it's still, it all wraps around the overall message and how you craft it. Although everyone lives their life, they make mistakes, they have opinions, you still want to gravitate or keep on cue to drive one central theme of who you are, what you're about, and entice the people around you that you're to do business with you, because you're the type of person who will take care of them, get the job done, do all these things that you're supposed to be doing as their agent.
100%. You just have to really, I mean, you have to be, I'm going to use some buzzwords I hate, organic, right? So you really have to post organic content and just post things that are genuine to you. I mean, if you've got a family or you like having fun, post that stuff. If it's getting drunk and hanging, and have a lampshade on your head hanging from a chandelier, you probably don't want to post that, even though that's pretty organic. You just don't want to do that. You're going to really limit your pool of people that think you're a professional. This is the biggest purchase. Real estate is the biggest, really the biggest purchase that somebody can go through in their life. I mean, it's a stressful situation, and they need to know that it's a professional that has their back. And really, it's not about you being the fun party guy all the time. I mean, some people, they'll like you, they'll love you, they'll like all your things on Facebook, they'll like all your posts on Instagram. However, when it's time to do business with you, you're more than likely not going to get that call, and you're going to see another sign go in the ground, and it's somebody that they thought was more professional than you that could get the job done, right? And so and that leads really into, no one knows your brand better than you. So it's up to you to really build it and spread the word. So what does that mean? Nobody knows you better than you, right?
Right. Well, no one else can do it for you.
Right.
It's going to have to come from inside you. So I guess mine, how I relate with other people is going to be my family, because a lot of people out there have family. They have young kids, and that's just how I relate with them.
Right. Same here. I mean, it's not that I have a huge family or anything, but I mean, I've got a small little family, and most of my stuff revolves around how I stay omnipresent is through really food and fun, right?
Everyone has to eat.
I post a lot of short stories on food, and then I have the Wilco Eats. If you're not familiar with Wilco Eats, head over to Facebook, just WILCO Eats. Check out those videos we do there. Those get a lot of organic hits. I don't hit boost on any of that stuff. I don't advertise that stuff. I don't spend money on that. That's a completely, once again, to beat the hell out of this word, organic. Organic.
That's lit.
Yeah. We're going to do a whole show on buzzwords that I can't stand. Then I catch myself using them and it drives me bananas. So it's something out there that I've come up with that works for me, is that I go to restaurants, I interview them. If I don't interview them, I just do a quick video. I try to keep it under 1 minute and really showcase the food that I'm eating, that I would typically find is probably some of the best stuff on the menu. I usually go for what the business is known for, or some of their best items on the menu that sell a lot, right? And so I try to focus on that. I do some filming. I film the exterior of the building, then I film the interior of the building, and if they have any kind of cool features inside, I run through that, or if they've got like a dessert section, I do all that stuff, and that attracts a lot of likes. I mean, the other day I did a barbecue restaurant in Corpus Christi, Texas, while I was down there for the day, called Salty Oak Barbecue, right? So I went, great barbecue, filmed it, threw it out there. Within, I think 3-4 hours, it had 2,500 views. And by the next day, within 24 hours, we were at 5,500 views. Right. And so then,
meanwhile, the barbecue restaurant's wondering what happened.
Right. And so the barbecue restaurant shared it on their page, which drove it even more. Right. Nice. And then they thanked me big time for it. And so, now I've got I've got an ally down there. So when I go into their restaurant now, they know me. Right. So they're like, oh, you're the guy that did Wilco Eats on us. Why'd you do that? Just
for
like,
well, I just did we get a discount?
You're so stupid. I think I can afford the.
So we got a place to eat now when we go to Corpus.
Yeah. Well, I tried the other day. You didn't want to. I always eat barbecue.
Well, I didn't know we got a discount.
We don't get a discount. Shut up. So it was that, and then that one right there attracted a lot more people into the space. Like, oh, hey, are you a real estate agent here in Corpus? And I'm like, oh, I have a part of my team's down there. We've got a guy running around down there, and it served its purpose. And still to this day, it's still getting 2 to 3 likes. I get notifications that it gets a likes, or it gets a comment, or somebody tags. That was the biggest thing, was where we got so many tags were, hey, James, put in James Mendez, we need to go eat here. Have you ever eaten here? Marshall Tucker, and things like that. And it was the tags and it was the shares that I got out of the video that made it blow up like it did. And in a sense kind of went, what would that be? What's that called?
Going viral.
Yeah, micro-viral.
Right? I was about to say that, micro-viral.
Micro-viral, under 10,000 views, right? And so our best video on Wilco Eat so far is 35,000 views. We've had a couple in the 20,000s. And
that's good.
And all those are good because I didn't spend a dime on pushing them out. I just did very good places that are well known and that people actually go out and look for or search the internet for. And still to this day, I still get, I did Round Rock Donuts, about a year and a half ago. And that one still, once a week picks up a few viewers. And it's still going strong.
I still stop by there and order donuts under Wilco Eats just so they don't forget.
Yeah. So you
what's your name, sir? Wilco Eats. You made it.
Cheap bastard.
They don't give you a discount; they give you extra.
They're like, God, this guy's really taking advantage over here. It's not even Dave; it's the cameraman.
What's up, Olo?
Yeah, right.
Just a shout out to the manager.
Oh, so stupid.
I think it just goes to show how much the real estate industry has changed. Before it was just, hey, sign in the yard, we'll sell the house, we'll help you buy a new one, and that's it. You didn't need to do anything. Nothing else really mattered. I mean, you kind of did other things, but it was only to kind of be in the limelight enough to get more transactions. Now, because there's so many and the industry's changing as far as marketing and advertising, people are venturing out and doing new things. And probably the consumer not wanting to just see a picture of a house again and again and again, or only hear like, yay, you just listed, or yay, you just sold, like that, creating things like Wilco Eats or
Well, the world changed too.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like everything around it's changed. I mean, yeah, we have video content. There's so many different ways to market or kind of get things out there and information about the community. And it's not just what agents want to do; it's what people are wanting to see.
Right. Well, I mean, it's a brand message is an opportunity to communicate on a human level with people, and making a direct emotional connection with your consumers out there, right? And so that's what the world's being built on right now is brand awareness, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's roll through a couple of these real quick, and then we're going to talk about when you're building your brand, should you be using a picture, one of your personal photos on your stuff. We had talked about it a little bit earlier. We're going to jump back into it, but what's the personality of your brand? So let's talk about these things. So is it personable and friendly, or is it corporate and professional? Is it spontaneous and high energy, or careful thinking and planning? Modern / high tech, or classic and traditional? Is it cutting edge, or is it established? So cutting edge there. Let's do EXP, cutting edge. KW, established. Fair assessment?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So is it fun, or is it serious?
Fun and serious.
Accessible to all, or exclusive, right? And so really these are some good points right here that you need to go back and audit yourself and say, what am I? What is my brand? Who am I building? What's going on here? I'm not talking about when you build a brand, it's not building a team, it's your personal brand, right? So this is what your message that conveys to people when you meet them. So it's part of your value proposition. It's part of all this. So if I had to check boxes here, I would say that, I'm personable and friendly versus corporate and professional.
And friendly.
We're professional and friendly. So we can take, are we spontaneous and high energy, or careful thinking and planning? We're definitely not careful thinking. We're definitely not planning. So that will strike that one out. Spontaneous.
We have Melanie back there to help us with that.
Yeah, spontaneous and high energy. Yeah, I think we have to have, somebody has to be in this organization, right? And so that's the director of operations. Is it, she really runs the company. We just are the yahoos that go out. Yeah, we're the ones that come in here spontaneously and turn on the mics and talk about subjects that we're half educated on. So
that's the best way to go.
Exactly.
Go all in halfway.
That makes no sense. No
half measures.
Modern high tech versus classic and traditional. I don't think there's anything about us that's classic and traditional. And I think we're more modern and high tech. And so we're more a media driven team. And a lot of times I go on listing appointments and I talk about that. It's like more these days I would identify with that we're a media company that sells real estate at a high level. Right. And I think that's the direction the business is going is don't get washed away by a lot of this tech and things that are in the pipeline coming down. I think people are too consumed with the high tech version of or the high tech part of this business, and they're worried about it. And I believe that our audience needs to just stay more drilled down and definitely have tech in your arsenal, but be a tech enabled agent, right? And so but you have to. That can't be the only thing you rely on, and you can't be afraid of tech. All right.
Right.
And so are you cutting edge or established? Obviously, we're an established team. However, we remain on the cutting edge. So we're always trying new things. Right. And are we fun? Or are we serious? Before 10 a.m., usually I'm serious. After that, it becomes more fun. Yeah. Fair assessment?
Right.
Yeah.
Accessible to all or exclusive? So we're accessible to all. Mm-hmm. Right.
It's very welcoming, but I think we work very well on narrowing things down as far as our focus on what we are attracting in the business. While we work with tons of people with, for the land deals, we've, farm and ranch, luxury, condos, beachfront property, we've used a good mix of tools at our disposal and working for some amazing clients and investors too. But that doesn't, that's not not our main focus. We're more of a narrower focus.
Yeah, I mean, we've narrowed down what areas we want to work, where we want to be professionals, and what we can speak to. We just happen to have a lot of, there's opportunities out here for farm and ranch, for land. That doesn't exist everywhere in the U.S. I mean, obviously there's land everywhere. That's not what I'm saying. But there's definitely markets out there. If you're selling in downtown New York, more than likely you're not pumping out farm and ranch.
Probably
right?
not.
So if you're selling in LA, you're more than likely not pumping out farm and ranch.
No, I haven't seen any ranches lately in downtown LA.
And there's downtown Austin agents that never touch land or anything else. And
Yeah, there is.
the one of the caveats to that is most people these days will do any deal that comes towards them. Right. And they won't refer it out to a professional. And MLS boards really state that, who you should be working with and who you shouldn't. You should be, knowledgeable in the product that you're selling. And I do a lot of times where we sell land and we get newer agents in that once we post something and it goes to Zillow, it becomes a Zillow lead. And that gets handed to the newer agents on the team that it seems to be the rule on that. And there's plenty of people out there that are doing Zillow leads, but the ones that I see trip across and they're coming at me with $100,000 land, they don't know how to write land contracts. They don't know all the little things that go on it. They don't know what conveys. They don't know what riparian rights are. They don't know a lot of the stuff going on, and you can see it. And so that means I have to work twice as hard.
Right. They're not doing their client a service.
Right. And they should have just referred it out.
Yeah.
And we've even got to a point now that we have a piece of land, we have 12 acres, and it's so far out there that agents just call these days and say, hey, can I just send my client out there? Or, can you meet us out there? And so I'll meet them out there, or I'll make an appointment. I'll head out there at 5:00 and then get there. And the agent, this has happened more than once. It drives me up the wall. Got stuck in traffic coming from Austin, not going to make it. Not going to be late. Just not going to make it. They just turned around. They just said, screw it. And then they expect to show up, and then they don't write they don't know how to write the contract. So now I need to write their contract for them, which usually I look at Marshall and I'm like, I'm a little strapped for time, and I'm sure Marshall is too, but kind of throwing on his desk like, hey dude, I'll pay you $100 if you write this contract for me real quick for this girl, and he gets pissed off.
$250.
I paid you $250 just to show a piece of land when I went out of town last time. God, just money grubbing.
It was hard terrain. I actually cut myself on that trip.
Yeah, you got
with the machete.
Did you?
Yeah. It was one of those where, I pulled it out of the back trunk, and then I was like, well, I'm going to take the sheath off of it. So I pulled it, and it was like a curved blade, so it cut my pinky. And so after that, I just wrapped my hand with a rag, and I was like, oh, please don't notice. Please don't notice. And I showed the rest of the land dripping blood through at least I could follow it back and find our way back.
Well, they ended up purchasing the land, so that was good. We were very happy about that one. So you earned the $250 on that one.
All right.
So, lastly, hey, let's talk about this face on the business card thing. So this is a debate that I see constantly on all the little Facebook groups out there that this happens as much as MacBook or Surface Pro.
Oh my God.
What's the best CRM?
Oh.
And do I put my face on business card? And
my very first business
those.
card, I had no photo. It was just a black card. It had my name on the front, and you picked it up and tore it in half, and you said, "This is shit."
Was that before I knew you? I didn't tear it in half.
You didn't get your photo on this quick. I was like, "But dude, have you seen me?
See, I was coming from contribution.
Have you seen this face?"
Yeah, but that just means you're going to do more deals, right?
Guess so.
That means you're going to work harder and do more deals because the prettier agents, from what we just read,
that's right,
do less deals, but they're just more expensive deals.
We got some
so
stats.
They don't have to work as hard. So the ugly guys like me.
Reading that thing had me laughing the entire time.
So the ugly guys like me have to, work a little bit harder to list a few more properties to make exactly what the pretty agents make. Is the gist of that conversation. However, so let's get into this one real quick and wrap it up. Face on business card, yes or no?
Yes.
I mean, we all have it on there, so yeah.
Why? Why has real estate gone in this direction to where we need to brand ourselves
because
and put our face on there?
There's so much noise out there that you're just going to get drowned out and lost. So you put your photo on there, people see you, they know, they like, and they trust you, and then they call you.
So it builds integrity, right? Yeah. So that's what I've read in the past is that it builds trust automatically and integrity. Yeah. And most people that were scrupulous, brokers back in the day, when I say back in the day, I'm talking about like the 1892s. I wasn't around then, but they were saying that most people, they didn't want their photos published. Realtors do it on their business cards, on their billboards, on their signs in the yard, and on newspaper ads. Really, and anywhere a realtor can put their photo. Yeah. These days in this day and age, like Instagram, like if I did sell a listing, I'll put my photo on it, I'll put the company name on it, and I send it out there. And really, what that is just, hey, look at me, guys, look at me, I sell real estate.
Agents are putting their photos on knife sets and giving them away.
Yeah,
just on anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna start putting my face on a coffee cup.
That seems a little excessive. Some of the knife sets and some of the other like little trinkets you can give to your client a picture of yourself. It's so weird.
That's douche.
It's so weird. I don't even. I'd probably throw it out. Like if you sold my house and you're like, here's a mug with your with my face on it.
It's gonna be a new marker mug.
I'd be like, this thing's going in the trash. You couldn't even, not even a picture of my own house.
Yeah,
or something I like.
I do the branded Yeti cups. Typically, is what
those
we
are
used to
getting
do all the
really
time.
popular.
They're not really popular.
They've been popular.
I can almost guarantee that I started it.
Possibly. I just got one because somebody said or asked that. They're like, well, why would you give somebody a Yeti with your branded logo on that? Like, well, because they'll think of you anytime you get it. But I just got one with our team logo on it. A friend of mine who's a contractor, and it has his logo on it and my last name. Use that thing all the time.
Any for the team. Just throw that out there.
You guys didn't recommend
Well,
them.
you don't recommend many. We have plenty of Yetis.
I'm talking about James. He didn't get us any.
In the cabinet in the back in the break room.
Oh my God.
There's about 9 to 10 Yetis in there.
If you guys are looking for the local Yeti pop-up store, it's in the Snowburger Realty Group office.
I don't even like the Yetis anymore just because I want to drink my coffee and it stays too damn hot to drink it. So anyway, that's a squirrel trail. I don't know why we ended up on Yeti cups. Branding. Sorry. And so let's talk about the old days. So crooks, land sharks, way back in the day, nobody wanted to use their picture on anything, but the reputable brokers did because it built trust. And really, so that's why it's continued to be a trend. And so all the time, that's some of the arguments I see on some of the Facebook groups out there is like, well, do doctors do it? Do lawyers do it? Do
they sell houses?
Well, I mean, that's
I think
the thing
there's
is
just a lack of. I think there's still a less of a trust, or there's more of a trust issue with a lot of realtors because of the history of things that have gone wrong with them, and I think it's still kind of building that trust with the general public because it still realtors rate really low for trust across the board of most professions.
Absolutely.
So I think it's still just the ever intention or continuing steps towards building more trust in the community, and that's just one of the ways to do that. That's why the local area professional, having other businesses and connecting with other businesses, and that build out. It's a constant thing that you have to do, and I think that's why because there's been such a bad history.
Yeah, one of my biggest things is I never really thought of real estate agents before I was in real estate as untrustworthy. I thought it was a good career, and I thought it was right up there with attorneys and other professions. Mm-hmm. And then as I got I was in my real estate, what's that called? Orientation. Yeah. With the board, right? So there's 100+ people in here. I mean, Austin's pumping out realtors right now. So this is 5-6 years ago, and there was a guy teaching the class, and he was very informative and walked around. And I think his name was like Wayne Morgan, and he owns a real estate school. Never done anything with him. I just remember that. And so he walked around the room, and one of the first things he did said, "What is your opinion of a realtor?" And someone screamed out, just kind of used car salesman. And it was like, I kind of took a step back, and I just all the attention in the room was like, everybody was kind of taken aback by what he just said. And so, okay, let's get into it. He's like, because you're absolutely right. That's what everybody always says when any polls are done or anything like that. It's just kind of like you rank right below used car salesman. We were on a listing appointment the other day, and the guy said the same thing. And he goes, I put real estate agents right under used car salesman. So talk about that a little bit.
That's terrible because I don't want to go to the dealership at all.
Right.
I get up there and I'm like, oh man, here they come. Oh, there's 3 of them coming. Oh, they're vultures. And then they get up to you and you're like, well, are you really telling me the truth here? And then they disappear and they come back. And
right. Are people thinking that about you when you show up to for sale by owner or a withdrawn or an expired, at an open house? Just think about people's body language at an open house, how they come in and they're so
Arms
stiff
crossed.
and they don't want to talk to you, and they're just putting off a bad vibe, and you're just really there to, I hate
give them free advice.
Beating up the term, beating up, coming from contribution, but you're there to open the house to give them something they might not have seen. Maybe their agent wasn't, available, or they don't have an agent, they're moving to town. What are the benefits of the house? And we're there seriously to come from contribution and let them know about the house. But more times than any, it's just kind of like, me having the argument with the guy, straight up argument with the guy about, I don't want your spam, and he threw the pen down, and the pen fell off the counter, and he didn't bother to pick it up. And it's look, prick. Come here real quick, and I basically threw him out of the open house, and everybody thought I was crazy because everybody comes from this rearing kissing space that since we're realtors, we have to be beat up by clients because we need business so bad. I don't need that guy's business that bad. I don't need to be treated like that. I don't like when customers talk down to me. I don't like it when other realtors talk down to me, and they really shouldn't do it to anyone, right? And so I think with part of the brand that we're building is that we've established is that we are a trustworthy brand throughout our community. And I think that over time, maybe not at open houses where people don't know me yet. However, people that call me, I mean, most of my stuff is most of my business transactions or real estate transactions come through a referral basis. And so obviously people trust me. So we've built a great name. Marshall, you have a great name with the Buy It with Marshall thing. Your referral game is strong through other agents. They trust you with their clients, everybody that's moving to town. That's really your niche. The other day you brought up first-time home buyers, which is not your niche, which confused the hell out of me. Yesterday I was cracking up about that.
Oh, my God. I
listened to the podcast yesterday. And,
dying laughing.
And even Nicole was like, Marshall works with first-time home buyers? And I was like, no, he doesn't. And I was like, he wasn't paying attention because I can see when he's on his phone over there, and I always think he's doing research, but he's not. He's just scrolling through Facebook because he's bored in here.
That guy.
All right, what do you got on this, Marshall, right here? So let's finish this out.
Let me see here. We're at, well, you talked about we're kind of a media company now, and that's funny because it goes back to the first media company was actually started by a real estate agent. So that's kind of interesting.
The first advertising firm was? How was it started by a real estate agent?
He had a coal business, and he had his little real estate business, and he was traveling around, and he would use the coal business to meet people. And I guess he ran a radio ad, I believe, for somebody, and it kind of took off. And then after he did that, he hung up the other two businesses and just started doing that full time.
Started doing real estate.
Yeah, giving us all a bad name. No, I was kidding. But no, he did real good. And digging into this, I did a little research, and I actually found something that was kind of a counter to what we've been saying. It said that it was from the, Market Leader. Yep. And it said that 1,000 flyers were printed up with a photo, and 1,000 flyers were printed up without a photo, and they were sent out to. There was the
without
same
a
copy.
Photo of an agent,
right? And it was the copy on both the same, only the phone number was different. And surprisingly, 200 responses came back on the ones without photos, and nothing came back with the one with a photo. Really? Which only tells me that the photo they used was an untrusting looking dude.
Boom.
Had to be, because everything else we're hearing says the other way around, right?
Right. So. I don't know. So my opinion is you should do the face. You should definitely do the face on your signs and your business cards.
We've talked about it quite a bit because we all really like branding and marketing and like the design stuff, and so we've been the advocate or the devil's advocate on the argument of like, well, what about this example? What about that? Mm-hmm. To kind of go back and forth. We ultimately obviously decided picture on our marketing, but it's an interesting conversation on to see what people are gravitating towards and even testing some of the stuff like our branded, photograph. Well, when we don't use photographs, we still get a pretty fair amount of hits and engagement with the branding and people's responses for what they like and dislike about it.
As a side note, if you're going to put your photo, if you're going to get a business card in general, don't get a flimsy business card. That's like a flimsy handshake. Make sure you get a nice, good stock paper there.
Good recommendation, Marshall.
You're welcome.
Build your brand. That's going to wrap it up for today. Let's go ahead and if you have any questions about this, send us over to info@realestateontherocks.com. And if you need me personally, you can give me a call at 512-773-6461. I'd like to thank Mike Harrell over at Guaranteed Rate. Guaranteed Rate is our mortgage company of choice. We absolutely love them, and they knock all the deals for us right out of the park. If you need to reach them, Mike Harrell at info@realestateontherocks.com. Until next time, thank you.